The purpose of this channel is to bring the latest news and information to the Commonwealth. I also want to raise awareness and bring education to the stigma that's in the cannabis community. Please medicate and consume responsibly. Welcome to Virginia Cannabis Connection. Once again, I'm your guy on the couch, Joe Parsons. Today on Virginia Cannabis Connection, I'm going to be starting a new segment that gives a spotlight to artists of all kinds that are either a positive influence to the cannabis movement or are just trying to make a difference for the rest of us. So this is going to be my very first Canna Vibe segment. I thought, what better way to start the Canna Vibe series with an artist who let me use one of his songs as my introduction music. So no one better than William G. Kidd. But first, I have to give a status update on the two competing Democratic bills that have both been working towards a functioning recreational retail sales market in the Commonwealth. This news is so big that I couldn't wait till the end of the week, so I had to give you a quick update. So here goes. Friday, the Senate Rehabilitation and Social Service Committee voted 9-5 in favor of a new revision of HB 698. Major compromises were made with the help of Senator Aaron Rouse to make a functioning version of 698 that appeals not only to both camps, but to all of Virginia and its citizens. Senator Paul Kryzik worked hard with Senator Rouse and thanked him for his hard work to bridge the gap between our two bills. The new 103-page compromise bill attempts to ease the disagreement around three major areas: timeline and market release dates, ways to promote equity in the new industry, and how to regulate cannabis growers. As time is concerned, the once proposed 2024 launch dates will now start in May of 2025, but the licensing process would start in September of this year. It also does not give any existing medical companies the upper hand and allows for a fair licensing process overseen by the VCC that is not affected by the deep pocket MSOs. Licensing fees during the first year would support equity-based micro-businesses, with up to 60% of all retail sales going towards the micro-business program. A uniform 9% sales tax would be imposed. Now, this is in lieu of the 17.5% tax rate that was available in earlier drafts. Now, that would give 4.5% state sales tax and another 4.5% that local governments can optionally oppose, giving every county a choice. Now, here's a fun fact for you. If this passes through, Virginia will have the lowest core state canna tax rate in the nation. Now, that's most impressive. This plan also addresses the issue of outdoor cultivation. Growers will now be measured in square footage versus the plant count, meaning smaller independent craft growers can grow outdoors, while full, large-scale operators can only grow indoors. Another awesome part of this compromise bill is that it raises the current limit from 1 ounce for possession to 2.5 ounces, and you can purchase that in one transaction. Now, it supports only face-to-face transactions, meaning there's going to be no delivery services, no drive-thrus, or no vending machines. It's truly a safe and fair operation, similar to the way they do things in Maine. There are tons of other updates and improvements that start a safe, fair marketplace and helps end gray market sales that do absolutely nothing for the Commonwealth except for pad the pockets of greedy growers and shady criminals. This bill is awesome, and I'm going to stay glued to its progress and keep everyone in the know. Governor Youngkin can still undo all this hard work and effort by a veto. He has reportedly stated that he has no interest in a retail market in the Commonwealth, especially one led by Democrats. Once again, admitting that partisan stance means way more to him than money for schools, money for our educators, a fair social equity program, or creating new jobs for tens of thousands of his citizens. But this veto could be his last if he keeps holding up progress and fair equity for the Commonwealth, as he's up for re-election in 2025. I hope he remembers that, or is he just a GOP pawn used to simply block the Democrats? We'll see. And now back to my Canna Vibe segment. This artist currently resides in Utah, but is a Virginia native. We first met as childhood friends. We came up from a small Virginia town called Buckingham. He was always one of my friends that I looked up to growing up, as he was smart, funny, good with the girls, and an amazing musician. As many childhood friends do, we went our separate ways, and he went on into the military after high school, but he never lost his love for music, and through trials and tribulations went on to become one of Utah's best male blues vocalists. He has several self-released albums, and has a prominent career not only as a blues musician, but as an actor, writer, and devoted husband. I was lucky enough for him to lend me a little time via the interwebs, and he gave me an interview. Here are some of the highlights from his home in Utah. My first question was, of course, what his current projects were in music.
Um, I have, yes, I just finished doing the other half of a video shoot for a song that I did. It's actually, it kind of came off slightly religious, which is not my norm, but I mean, it still did. And I shot it out in the middle of the salt flats, uh, barefooted in the wintertime, like, but in a suit. and we did the other half in a church building because it's kind of gospel-y sounding, and it's just about getting your soul back. That will be coming out soon, but it's being right now. They're the word I want to use. They're doing it proper, so they're going to launch it appropriately instead of it just putting something on YouTube. Um, Also, I've been doing more soundtrack work for movies, and I did land my first score in a film called City of Salt that is out now, and you can watch it. It's on lots of different platforms. I wish I could say all of them, but just look for it and it'll show up.
He was also excited to share some of his upcoming projects he has in the film industry as well. Here's that.
Um, I will be in a movie called The Witch of Wander Lane, and my character is going to be involved in the movie a lot more than what they expected to begin with because they really like the way I act. They enjoy it, and at the same time, they already placed me as a main character in another movie called The Hammer, where I would be. Um, it's kind of uh, a biker movie, but it's more mob like.
Mhm.
And I can't go into detail on the really big character that I'll be working with because I have to keep my mouth closed about
Of
it. I
course,
can't
of
talk
course.
about it, like, but this is a major role, and I'm excited to do it and be my back home kind of self.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
and I mean, along with that, I have been writing a movie, um, and the the same company. This is Epstone Media.
Mhm.
They have decided to take on my movie, and well, I have two of them actually. They want them both, but I'll be acting in those as well as helping produce and uh, doing the soundtrack for the movies.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
When we were younger, he was very much into rock and roll and heavy metal music. But as he grew, he made a shift into storytelling blues and developed a very soulful sound. I asked him why he gravitated towards the blues.
make that change.
Yes, yes.
Right. Well, you know what, man? I love that question. That's a good one. Um, I had I had just gotten out of the military. I did some time in the military, and when I got out, I didn't necessarily get out on the greatest of terms, but I still got out, and I'm a veteran, so I
Mhm.
did the right thing. And when
Thank
I
you for your
did,
service.
oh, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. I um I ended up doing some time, uh, but because I was AWOL for a short period, and I turned myself in and went back and handled my business, and I did some time in federal lockup. During that time, I had time to think, and when I did, I got my stuff together, and when I got back to my unit, I spent a lot of time just with a guitar in my barracks room, and I sat back and I thought about where I come from. the origin of me. And I reached out somehow or another. Something happened where I was like, I need to write something because I was in a situation with a young lady that I had been dating while I was in the military, and ended up being the cause of me just saying, I'm done. I'm turning myself in. I don't want to look over my shoulder. And then songs started to happen that were more in depth, more in here than let's just be, because I wasn't angry at the world anymore. Rock and roll for me as a kid was, I had this crazy, screwed up family life. So it was a vent, I could vent. And I decided that I need to sing more from here about how I feel. And it changed me. And I wrote two songs, and I took off with a backpack and my thumb out. And
One of my favorite
went,
songs.
I
I'm
went to
just I'm just
Colorado.
gonna throw it out there. That is one of my favorite songs.
I woke up in a hot spring.
Yeah,
I passed out in a hot spring. I had smoked a big old fat sack of weed, and I had a couple shots of Everclear,
yeah.
and I was and I passed out in a hot pool, and I woke up and there was all these hippies around me, and they were like, "Dude, you should come with us." And I was like, "Yeah, I thought I woke up in another time period." I was like, "Did I go back?" And like I've never like I was like, "Oh my God, did I just wake up in another time? Because this is where I'm supposed to be." And I traveled with these cats all over the country. And I went to what they call Rainbow Gathering, and things clicked, and then songs just started pouring out from being involved with all these people. Because most of those folks, I mean, they set up a gathering in the country somewhere, but they don't tell you to the last minute where it is. There was 30,000 people in the woods, all of them mushrooms, marijuana, um, um, teepees, and we were doing ceremonies. And I was like, oh my God, man, I found like this groove. And then music just started pouring out.
Out of all the places in the United States, I always wondered why such a brilliant musician wound up in Utah. I mean, I always thought that he'd wind up in either California or Washington, somewhere with a bigger music scene. So I asked him why Utah became his forever home, so far away from his first home of Virginia.
So I was traveling in a actually a Volkswagen van with about four other hippie kids,
yeah.
and we broke down in Utah. And Salt Lake broke down in Salt Lake City. They were just dying to get out of here, and somehow or another, I ran into the underbelly, the underground musicians, the underground folks here. I'm not gonna lie, man, it was magical. It changed my whole world. So I meet all these artists and musicians and you name it, contortionists, painters. It's just so rich in art in every aspect that it just drew me. I was like, this is home. And I stayed and they left.
We went on to discuss the current state of the rec use cannabis sales, or the lack therefore of, for that matter, in Utah. And I was curious, for someone who is canna friendly in such a conservative state, why he thinks that a Republican led House and Senate have stalled in cannabis reform since 2018, when Utah did in fact enact a medical program. However, there's currently only 15 medical dispensaries in Utah, and all are currently state controlled by the Department of Health and Human Services. Another fact is that Utah is one of the only medical use states that has not welcomed any of the big MSO operators within their borders.
Still not difficult here. I can get my medical, no problem. But as far as recreational, that as far as that goes, they do tend, because it is the way it is. This is, it's funny because they say, you don't mix church and state. Well, this isn't one of those states.
Yes. Well,
It's very church oriented, and they make it a little bit harder for you to get things done. I mean, I can get my medical card, no problem. I have that. But as far as rec goes, that will probably be a few more years out, like just the way that they are here. They don't want to see that happen. Um, so everybody here goes to Colorado and then they come back.
yeah,
I'll tell you this. Out here, everybody either smokes it or is eating it. Like everybody. So like I've been uh, I've been thrown across the hood of a car over something like somebody called and said that I had a warrant, and they're like, "Hey man, what do you got in your pockets? You got anything I need to know about?" I'm like, "Yep, I got a pipe and a bag of weed and a pocket knife." He says, "Just lay them on the hood." I laid him on the hood, and he goes, "I ain't worried about all this. We're just gonna get rid of it, okay? I'm just gonna give you a paraphernalia charge." That was back before they did all this.
no, wow.
Yeah, and they just smack you on the hand here, man. It's not a big deal here. They don't care about that. What they do care about is like the hard stuff, and I love that they do. But it's pretty lax here. It really is, or I wouldn't be here.
We then went on to talk about, should cannabis be rescheduled to Schedule 3 or should cannabis be descheduled altogether? Here were his thoughts on that issue.
A crock. I think it's a bunch of shit. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I think that it just should just be done. It's not a damn drug. It's not a drug. It's a natural occurring thing, and you're doing it naturally. I mean, it's not like you're like chemically enhancing it, like cocaine, and turning it, and taking the plant and then changing it. You just smoke the fucking thing and be done,
Gotcha.
or eat it, and it doesn't make sense to me where it should be scheduled anything. I just leave it alone. Uh,
Descheduling, I think, would be the better way to go. And what that means is that we would put it on the same level as tobacco and alcohol.
right, exactly, right there.
Thank
Right
you.
there. I agree. I totally agree. It's useless. Look, let me tell you something.
I think I think
I used to
personally Schedule 3 leaves too much for the pharmaceutical companies to just come and just take over the
take over.
entire market.
They'll take over and make a profit off of it and turn it into too much.
Exactly.
And I agree. I totally agree. They don't need to be involved. Leave it alone. Now they're taking it away. Like I mean, like I've had my friends, California. They have farms, legalized grow farms, but it got to the point where pharmaceutical already took over and they couldn't make any money anymore. So they're selling their farms. Enjoy it. But the thing is, if we can keep the pharmaceutical companies out of it, then it's profitable as a farmer. You're a farmer, period. I mean, like you grow beans or whatever. You can't make a living if they're scooping the money out from underneath it. So then they're shutting down. And it, it's kind of sad. It's really sad to me. It doesn't make any damn sense. Leave it alone. It's nothing. It's a plant. And you know what? How many people that smoke or eat it or whatever go out and kill people? You know what I mean? Or get into big old fat car accidents. Or it's not like alcohol. Alcohol's even worse.
And finally, I thanked him for letting me use one of his studio tracks as my theme song and what it meant to him and where the inspiration of the song Everyday Bullshit came from.
Anyway, tell us about the song and
Sure.
what
In
it
the
means to you.
You know what? Look, in the back of my head at the time, I was like, it was a Bob Dylan song. Hold on. What's the name of that song? Um, uh, everybody, and it's like, what the hell? You
Gotcha.
can't
Everybody must get stoned, but
stop,
but
right?
that's not
So,
that's not the name of it, but it's something
no,
else.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's that song, right?
It's that
So I
song.
was like,
Everyone knows it as the "Everyone Must Get Stoned" song.
right, right. So I was like, what if I could anthemize it and do it in my own way and do my own song that has that same feel, that same vibe? Because sitting around the campfire with all these people and playing music is what got me back out performing again and doing all these different songs that I do now. And it was so fun to like, okay, let me go about it like this. And I literally got stoned as hell and was hanging out with a bunch of friends around the campfire, and the song just came out of my mouth. And there's videos of how it started to get created, like, but it didn't fully write itself until a little time after. And I literally remember all these times that I've been sitting around a fire and making people just move and be happy, and and we were all burning it down and having a good time, and we all connected, and I was like, oh, I'll write music about connecting or about love or loss or whatever. But that song right there,
It's fun,
it was
and
so
sir,
fun to play.
you just perfectly summed it up. That is the reason that I chose it, because it's a song about bringing people together
Exactly.
and um, chilling out and just getting high with your friends and talking about everyday bullshit. And it's a wonderful song, man.
I
Thank
just
you
love it
so,
that
so
you
much
love it
for
too,
allowing
man.
me to
Thank you.
use it.
Yes, sir. You're good. It
Right.
was like the lead into my podcast. I had a radio show, internet radio show. It was Everyday Bullshit Radio, and we had guests and actors and actresses and stuff come on all the time, and we'd have performers come on, and then we would perform together at the end of the night
Nice.
and have a good time, And I mean,
You just
I
summed it up,
told them
though. I
to
mean,
send some of that to you too, just to share.
thank you.
But
Thank you.
at the same time, I just love the fact that you asked me for that. And as soon as you asked me, I was like, are you kidding me? Hell yeah.
Well, good. Good.
I would like to thank William G. Kidd for being with me this week on the couch. You can follow him on Facebook and Instagram. You can check out some of his music on all your favorite music services. He's currently on Apple Music, YouTube Music, Spotify, and SoundCloud. Well, that's my time for this one. Under permission, I am going to end this episode with a full uncut version of my theme song. I hope you all enjoy it, and I hope you see why it was my number one choice for this channel. Until next time, stay lifted, my friends.
The stars are shining brightly, shadows on the ground. Everyone is swaying to the guitar sounds. Sitting round a campfire, pass the bowl around. Pop open the bottle and we'll drink till we drown. We'll sit and talk about shit, everyday bullshit. Betty got naked and ran off in the dark. I'll sneak off with a fat one and blow her mind apart. Take a rip off this one, it's all that I got left. I'm sorry, but this one will make you cough a lung out your chest. And we'll sit and talk about shit, everyday bullshit. I don't know why I gotta get high. I guess it helps me get by on my own. Sometimes it's just nice to be with your friends and get stoned. And we'll sit and talk about shit, everyday bullshit. I don't know why I gotta get high. I guess it helps me get by on my own. Sometimes it's just nice to be with your friends and get stoned. And we'll sit and talk about shit, everyday bullshit. And we'll sit and talk about shit, everyday bullshit.